You are listening to a Sinspirational interview on the Faithful Sinners.
Always had some kind of sidekick on the side. I worked at Kenny Shoes. I drove school bus for 10 years. And I guess I was always the guy that figured things out because the school bus drivers, they paid us the same amount of pay that the custodians got paid because they had to work in the afternoon and then finish their 8 hours in school. And they had a union. So every 2 years, they'd get a little pay raise, but the school district always paid the bus drivers whatever they got. But we didn't have to be in their union. Well, 2 years after I started, their union got them out of driving. We didn't get any raise. And the women are saying, Neil, look at your check. We didn't get a raise. The custodians got a raise. How come we didn't get a raise? It says, because their union got them a raise. We're not part of their union. You don't have nobody speaking for you. You got to start a union. And the ladies, they'll find out who's trying to do that. They'll fire us. No, they can't do that. And there was another guy driving. He was the safety manager at the post office. So we know how to deal with unions. And so I called the State Mediation Service Bureau and told them we wanted to start a union for the bus drivers. So they notified the school district, and school district was nice enough. They gave us a room to come meet in and have a vote one evening. And I told everybody, 50% of you better show up and vote yes, because if you don't get 50%, you're not going to get a raise. So there was enough showed up, and Bob and I ended up putting our tie on and suited and going in talking to the school lawyers, and we brought in the pay scales of the schools that were getting paid a little bit more than we were, and they were accurate. Of course, we didn't give them all the ones that were below us, but apparently they didn't really check around too much because there wasn't any question. They came back, gave us an offer of a small pay raise. It wasn't a lot, but we didn't argue and we didn't go back and forth. We just accepted it because we had our foot in the door. We're a union now. And so 2 years later, I went in and I said, you got some of the women that drive in the morning, they drive a kindergarten route, they drive an afternoon route, they're driving over 6 hours a day. So they should be able to earn sick leave for a day, 6 hours, if they're really sick and they need to take a day off, that they would get paid their day. Those that are less than 6 hours, well, we're not asking for the part-time people that don't drive a full day. And the other thing we know is we know what the seniority list is. And instead of just assigning routes to everybody, it would be a good idea if they'd call everybody in by seniority and just let them pick their route. The routes all are about the same size, so the pay's not much different, but some people would like to pick a route, for maybe a school their kid goes to or whatever. But we do have the seniority, and that's one thing we'd like is be able to come in and pick our routes. And so they gave us that too, without any argument. And then they had to post all the routes on the board, and they'd call us in one at a time. I've been driving for about 4 years, so when it came my turn, I had enough seniority to pick the route I really wanted. It was the route that had Visitation, St. Thomas, St. Michael's, St. Joe's, Brady, St. Croix Lutheran. They were all the parochial schools. The route didn't pay that much less. It was a little bit shorter, but those kids all behaved. If somebody gave you a bad time or was fighting, all you had to do is tell the principal or the sister of that school that would come out and meet the bus, and they'd let their parents know, and they behaved.
Thank you for listening to our Inspirational interview on the Faithful Sinners. And make sure to check us out on thefaithfulsinners.com and like and follow us on your favorite podcast and social media stations.